What embarrassing secrets do you know about your exes? So I was sitting in my living room on my phone while he was in the bathroom going number 2. Or trying to. He's in there for IDK, 15 minutes maybe, when I hear the door creak open slightly and my name being called very faintly. I go over concerned asking if he's alright, and he looks me dead in the eyes and asks, "Do you have a pad?" Now, I know this boy does not have the parts that typically need those, so I'm like, sure, why? He told me was so constipated that he ended up bleeding back there, and it wouldn't stop. I'm trying not to laugh because what? But also that does sound alarming, so I give him the pad. I show him how to put it on and everything. I use the ones with wing flaps, so there were a few leg hair casualties. An hour or two goes by and he gets up to try again. He then calls me in to tell me he thinks it stopped, but asks if he should be worried about the amount of blood lost. He shows me the pad. Home boy left a quinoa-sized drop on the pad and asked me if he needed to go to urgent care. I'll never forget that day. My ex-husband went to the bathroom in the dark. He tried using a tube of hemorrhoid cream, but also on the bathroom counter was some green crackle Halloween makeup. Apparently he really lathered it on. Told me in the morning and I almost died laughing. It was a joke for years. I should text him a reminder. That his mum cuts his toenails for him. He went out to the movies with his ex and her mom and dad. His ex gave him a handjob during the movie. He accidentally came on his ex's mother who was sitting in the row in front of him. He farted before we went for a shower and a tiny poop fell out and onto the bathroom mat. My ex got high and cut his dick open, claiming something was inside of it. I had to take him to the at 4 a.m. because it wouldn't stop bleeding. That was fun to soberly explain to the doctor. That he chatted up a 15-year-old on Snapchat when he was in his 30s. Showed me some of their chats and they were quite suggestive. No clue what happened there, but I reported him to the local police before leaving. Hey babe, check out these sexy convos with this minor I had one time. Cool. Recent ex. He's had a crush on his sister and probably still does. He couldn't stop comparing me to her, saying how she is hot. All the guys want her, she's the ideal mother figure for his future children. He says he's hot too and that everyone looks at him when he walks by. But I'm not that hot and I'm not what he envisions as the mother of his future children. First ex. He wants to live with his mom forever and slept in the same bed as her until age 16, even though he had his own room and bed. His dad would sleep elsewhere. He says she's the most beautiful woman in the world and calls her for any little issue he has, like if he has a stomachache while we're on vacation even though I'm a nurse. He'll call her while we're having a nice dinner on vacation. His mom shops for all his clothes and he can't stay out past 9 p.m. despite being 23 years old at the time. He has to ask his mom for permission for anything, even to sleep over at my place. His mom knows how to drive, but once he turned 16, she decided to stop driving and make him drive her everywhere, including to 3 different grocery stores every Sunday and 2 hours away to go shopping. He and his mom go out all the time, leaving his dad at home. Boy, either you drew the lottery with those two or you have some unique taste for weird man. From back in high school. He used to jack off at the end of his bed onto his navy blue carpet. The carpet was bleached orange from years of it. He used to tell people he was in the military and sometimes used the word veteran. He was kicked out of boot camp for getting drunk while on some sort of duty. High school boyfriend. Every time he pooped, he would only wipe once, not look, and call it good. No bidet. Found out after 18 months of dating. Also one who would go to the bathroom after waking up every morning, hotbox weed while taking a shit, jerk off to porn on his phone while still on the toilet, then not wipe or flush and get into an as hot as he could stand shower. He would just let the water run over him and then loofah away the rest. There was an exhaust fan in the bathroom, but he never used it. Just poop, weed, and extremely high humidity in the air. He never finished when we had sex, and I'm pretty sure it was because he was conditioned to only orgasm while smelling his own shit in a tropical environment. There were so many reasons to not be with that guy, but this is the most disgusting one. He also only ate Taco Bell, frozen pizzas, and Doritos. My ex was bored one night at work and decided to take a print of his ass on the copy machine. He broke it. What he didn't know was that it was caught on camera. They fired him the next day. Woman facepalming, we were parents of a newborn. That he comes underneath his blankets, sleep in them, and repeats every day until his mom washes his sheets. LMFAO, damn, that high school boyfriend was so gross. My last ex hooked up a male coworker. Guess he was bi-curious. He would die if I ever told anyone, so I never have. Until now. Lol. Even though he cheated on me, I've kept his secret for 10 YRS. That the only reason he got his college degree is because I wrote his last paper for him. My ex-husband, he would dress like a girl and walk around the house till I saw what he was doing when I wasn't home, and he made a Facebook account as a girl and talks to men like he want them to fuck him. Then I found that he was sending pics of me naked to them saying it was him. Lol, this is a great idea for a thread. Tie-op for these juicy secrets, edit for contribution. Ex-BFF would only shower like once a week at most. Which I always thought was disgusting because she would sleep around but not shower in between partners. Went with Planned Parenthood with her the morning following a hookup where the condom fell off. She decided to get an IUD, Plan B. She told me when they were putting in the IUD they found an old tampon in there. IDK how she managed to have sex with a dude without ever noticing it was in there. He's weird, full on weird. Wanted me to have sex with his son when he gets older. Face vomiting, nauseated face edit. Oh yay, when he was a teenager or a little younger to groped his stepmother's breasts. I was with this guy for 4 years. He used to dress up in my clothes, shorts, dresses, etc. Wear my headband, then walk around the house talking out loud to someone imaginary when there wasn't anyone home. I walked in on him one day when I came home early from college. Another ex, after we broke up, had a thing for his sister. She was his type. They used to make out at night after their parents fell asleep. They did handsy stuff when everyone was around for fun. They eventually slept together and did so for 3 years until his sister started going to college. Yes, she was only 16 when he was 22. I'm a lesbian. I couldn't figure out why her down below smelled so rancid that she could be fully clothed and I'd still smell her. I felt bad and assumed it was a medical issue. Turns out she didn't know she was supposed to wash there. She didn't even get close. I was wondering why she always smelled like period blood. I didn't learn this until we showered together. I was completely shocked. I honestly thought it was some medical issue that I shouldn't bring up or something. When I showered with her, she ignored the entire area and I asked if she wanted me to leave so she could clean there, and she kept saying, "You don't need to wash there, kissy face, biggest red flag." Gross. I wonder if she heard that you don't need to wash your vagina, as in inside, and took it to mean vulva? That's so sad. I hope you got to explain to her and show her how to, because honestly, this sounds like somebody who was never explained well by a parental figure or something, and I honestly feel kinda bad for her. This usually starts when a child is misinformed that the vagina is self-cleaning, which itself isn't misinformation, but kids are stupid and think the labias are the whole vagina, so they end up ignoring it completely. Could she not smell herself though? Surely even her clothes and underwear would smell bad too? I'm imagining how irritated her bits must have felt, like itchy and sore from not washing. OMG. OMG, that's sad. Did you show her how? My ex had really bad external hemorrhoids. There were certain positions we would do for BJs and I would see full on the severity of them. No wonder he didn't like it when I poked his butt. They would almost touch my forehead. It looked like if you made a fist and tried to jam all your fingers through at one end to the over end and you could see a good portion of your fingertips. I felt bad for him. He was too nervous to go to the doctor about it. He cheated on me with my sister. I hope the hemorrhoids got worse. One of my exes fell for the Nigerian prince email spam when we were in college and ended up owing the bank $20,000. Oh God, there is a list. He sexually abused his sibling. He is a neo-Nazi, is homophobic, is sexist, didn't believe in anxiety and depression until he experienced some in military boot camp. Oh yeah. Military, burned every friendship he ever had to the ground as a sloppy, angry, childish drunk, zero emotional intelligence, damn near zero intelligence, failed HS and never went to college, overall a super vile human. Ick to all of it, how embarrassing. That he likes to dress up as a cat while having sex. He likes incest porn and his sister is now nonverbal from some trauma that they can't identify. It's why he settled his divorce real quick and let his ex-wife make all the decisions for their kids. Allegedly, of course. Actual story I received from his most recent ex. My ex-husband's last fiancée had a daughter and she lived in a different state. One night, she was crying because she missed her daughter and he proceeded to jack off. Right next to her. When he gets drunk, he pees in his sleep. When we stopped talking, he went on Omegle to masturbate on camera with random girls. He was sad because none of them looked like me. With how delusional I am, I'd prob take that as a compliment. My ex openly admitted to having a crush on my friend's 16–17-year-old cousin, and I caught him liking pics of her tagged with my friend on Facebook. My ex 26. It's so fucking creepy. Grimace. He met the cousin at my 24th b-day and said, quote, she was the most attractive woman at the party, apart from me of course. He knew he aged, sir. Me ex experimented with a guy friend for 2 years as a young teen to figure out if he was gay or not. He claims he isn't. Here's another one. When he was 27 he met a 16-year-old and groomed her. On her 18th b-day he asked her out. Poor girl is still with him 7 years later. She's 24 and he's 35 now. He's gay. He knew he was all of his life. He had an ex-wife when he met me. A couple of months into the relationship I knew something was up. Also, knew he was attracted to his work buddy, a bisexual married to a woman. I told him that I needed the truth from him and our connection was good enough that he fessed up. He was never bi but gay and knew since he was a teen. I was pretty sure that was the end of the relationship, but he asked me not to end it. But BC, he was truly lonely. We certainly wasn't physical anymore, but when the thing with the coworker took off, with his wife's blessing, so did I. We were still friends, but it fizzled out as he started to live his truth. I was the only person beside coworker that knew though. This was over 20 years ago. Fast forward to 2018 and someone shared a clip of his cat. Featured in it was him, his wife and their toddler. My ex wanted me to poop in his mouth. Right-o, next. He called all his exes crazy. We all know who the real crazy one here. He has a foot fetish, okay, not that bad, but he also got into smelling my armpits. Thing is, he preferred when they were super ripe. Like, we'd just been drinking the night before and gone all day without showering because we're too hungover and it was super smelly. I'd never seen anyone get so turned on by anything before, and the fact that it was my very stinky beau. Fuckman. He also had a wart on his finger when we met, likely because of aforementioned foot fetish. Asshole didn't even tell me about it before we were sexually active. I noticed it and asked him what it was. He thought it was a wart, said he'd had it for years. He only went to the doctor to get it treated after I told him he's not allowed to touch me unless he does so. I still can't believe I let this guy fuck up my life. He didn't know he had to wash his ass every time he took a shower before he was around 18 yo. I had to teach him. He pick his nose very often and wipe on his hand. He didn't know he had to wash his ass every time he took a shower. This is unfortunately way too common, even in older men. They'll say there's no need to wash it if they haven't had any bowel movement, and if they do they use just their hands. Just nasty. Wait till you hear about men who don't wipe because it's gay. My first boyfriend was strictly against butt stuff, because it's gay, against smoking and drugs. Then suddenly when we broke up, I left him. I found a butt plug and bong while cleaning up my stuff from our apartment. Oh, and I heard he started smoking too. My more recent ex was obsessively washing himself. Like he would take a long hot shower every time he went to toilet, and would wash his butt and colon all the way he could reach. He had super strong disgust toward shit. Ironic thing is, he had a huge ass fetish. He also liked to wear feminine clothes and apparel, and while masked in a convention he dressed up as a woman. We were almost same size so he would borrow my things. Oh, and once when I was blowing him, doing this twirly thing with my tongue, he peed in my goddamn mouth. He apparently thought he was coming, and, on the hindsight, I probably should have taken that as a cue to throw him out. Could have saved myself so much trouble. He confessed after we broke up he stole panties from random women in the laundromat at our apartment complex. He never brushed his teeth as a kid and all of his adult teeth are filed down like a horse's teeth. A different ex was absolutely obsessed with me. After we broke up he joined the Navy, went to the Philippines, and had a kid with a woman solely because she looked like me. I'm not Filipina. Same ex has a pinup tattoo of me. I think he cut it up himself when we broke up or something. Oh, I have a bunch and a very long memory. C. Arrested at 16 for attempting to hide in a women's locker room at a gym so he could peep at naked ladies. J. Chronic constipation landed him a prolapsed rectum at 1 point. Shortly after we broke up he tried to mail-order a bride from Eastern Europe and got scammed hard and he came to me thinking I might sympathize. P. Had a history of light bestiality as a teen. J2. A registered sex offender for statutory when his underage girlfriend's mom found out about their relationship. S. Peed in Gatorade bottles at his computer so he wouldn't have to interrupt his gaming sessions. Rarely disposed of them. B. Did not file or pay taxes for years. I know he tried to hide it from his next girlfriend for a while but she's his wife now so I hope she knows. C2. Finds women's MMA matches to be so stimulating that he can't watch them in public. The sheer number of women in here commenting on either incest or their ex secretly wearing their clothes is kinda creepy. I'm grateful I don't have anything nearly as disturbed as anything I've read here to report. He slept with a pre-op trans woman but was very ashamed. He claims he didn't know she was. I love trans people and told him to stop calling them slurs. His dad was hella homophobic so he said his dad wouldn't love him anymore if he knew. Also he committed fraud by getting legally married in the army, not telling his family and saying it was just a live in GF. They got a divorce and he also never told them they broke up. Fuck you Brandon, I hope you rot in hell in a dark musky moldy room, breath in all those lemon spores. Edit. Also I did all him college work for him like the dumbass in love I was. Wish I could call his college and let them know and I hope he flunked out. That on a phone call where I introduced myself to one of the girls he was cheating on me with. We both agreed his oral sex game was awful. But he was so proud and pompous about how good he was, neither of us had said anything to him. It was a very fun moment, dealing the fact that 5 years of your life had been a massive waste of time, while laughing about how arrogant he was about his self-perceived skills. My ex was meeting men off Craigslist. Hosting, I guess. I found this out after I left him. He registered our daughter's iPod to his email, never deleted anything. I've shared this one a lot but it never gets old. Ex was aggressively having sex with me. He very suddenly stopped and pulled out. He turned to me and said, "Sorry, I was getting mad. I was thinking about my dad." Didn't even dawn on him how weird that was until he saw my facial expression. My first boyfriend also admitted to me he regularly watched preschool TV programs. We were about 15 to 16 years old.